NATO's campaign in Libya rumbles on 2 months after it started, while the U.S., which led the operation, is still highly engaged without official consent from Congress. According to the Constitution, America's military action over Libya is now illegal. But as RT's Lauren Lister reports, few on Capitol Hill seem concerned.
58, 59, 60.
I said at the outset that this was going to be a matter of days and not weeks.
But days have turned to months, and in Libya, the battle rages on. But in Washington, time has run out. And this rhetoric is running up against a real roadblock.
Mr. President, you've said you don't think the War Powers Act...
Since the War Powers Act...
A resolution that says 60 days marks the deadline for an American president. Pull U.S. forces from hostilities or get Congress's approval for a formal declaration of war. Yet neither appear to be happening. And according to the president publicly, time seems to be the enemy only for someone else.
Now time is working against Gaddafi. He does not have control over his country.
But it's unclear who or what has control over this one, the law or the will of the president.
The United States president did not seek a declaration of war to begin with, nor really has there been much discussion of the War Powers Act.
Nor does it seem there will be one pressed by the majority of Congress, not with leaders of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee saying there are no plans for action, and top lawmakers like John McCain saying, quote, he's never recognized the constitutionality of the War Powers Act, nor has any president. Which is only sort of true, according to legal and political experts.
Every president has expressed some concerns about its constitutionality, but interestingly, not a single president has questioned the 60-day rule.
Hathaway says if Obama does, this would set a new precedent for combat by a president who campaigned on ending U.S. wars and abiding by constitutional law. Still, when it comes to war powers, there's enough blame to go around.
Absolutely, Congress doesn't take it seriously, and presidents haven't taken it seriously, and U.S. media outlets don't take it seriously.
Meanwhile, U.S. drones fly over Libya dropping bombs, and the laws governing this type of mission seem to have flown out the window too.
It makes a joke of the whole idea of having laws, but you can still go out and give beautiful speeches, as the president seems to do, and talk about peace and justice and principles.
As the clock strikes day 60 in the Libyan intervention and the bill hits a reported $750 million in the U.S.'s third war with no congressional oversight or end in sight, time is working against rhetoric and the rule of law in theory. In reality, in the nation's capital, though, no alarm appears to be going off. Lauren Lister, RT, Washington, D.C.
Political analyst Ivan Elan told RT that Congress is shying away from a decision on Libya to make Obama the scapegoat for any possible failure.
Yes, it's illegal and unconstitutional, and it's not the first president to have done it, but it's clearly a move in the direction of more executive power and more the executive usurpation of the congressional war-making power. People, they want to take credit. If it goes well, they'll praise the president, or if it goes well badly, they can criticize him. But if you have a vote on a declaration of war or any sort of authorization for that, they have to go on record as either opposing it or supporting it, and therefore, they can get blamed by their constituents one way or the other. So just let the president take responsibility, and we'll be kibitzers on the side and say he did a great job or he didn't do a good job. George Bush, for all his failings, he did get congressional authorization for Afghanistan and Iraq, and he was the champion of executive power, but Obama has really gone further in this case than Bush ever went.